You hear four notes of a song, just four, and suddenly you are somewhere else. A kitchen, a summer, a person who is no longer in your life. Your chest tightens, your eyes sting a little. You didn't choose any of this, it just happened. But the real answer for why this happens is far stranger than just a memory. This feeling has a name: nostalgia. And for most of human history, doctors thought it was a disease. In 1688, a Swiss medical student named Johannes Hofer coined the word to describe something he saw in soldiers stationed far from home. They grew pale. They stopped eating. Some of them died. Hofer believed their longing for home was literally making their bodies shut down. He combined two Greek words, nostos, meaning return, and algos, meaning pain. The pain of not being able to return. For centuries after that, nostalgia was treated like a medical condition. Soldiers were sometimes sent home simply to cure it. Can you imagine being diagnosed with missing your childhood? It sounds almost silly now. But Hofer wasn't entirely wrong. He just misunderstood what he was looking at. Nostalgia isn't a disease, it's a tool, and your brain has been quietly using it on you your entire life. Here's what actually happens in your mind the moment nostalgia hits. A sound, a smell, a certain slant of light triggers your hippocampus, the part of your brain that stores autobiographical memory. But it doesn't stop there. That memory gets flagged by your amygdala, the emotional alarm system buried deep in your brain. Normally, the amygdala is there to warn you. Danger, threat, get out. But with nostalgia, it does something almost backwards. It tags the memory as safe, important, worth returning to. Your brain isn't just replaying the past. It's reaching for something. Psychologist Konstantin Sedekides, who has spent decades at the University of Southampton studying this exact feeling, has run experiment after experiment showing something researchers didn't expect. Nostalgia doesn't make people sadder. It makes them feel more connected, more optimistic, more resilient. In one of his studies, participants who were asked to recall a nostalgic memory before facing a stressful task performed better and reported less anxiety than those who recalled a neutral one. The past, it turns out, can act like armor for the present. Why would your brain do that? Why would it be built to pull you backward in order to help you move forward? Think about your ancestors for a moment. Not distant strangers, but the actual people whose survival led to yours. They lived in small, tightly bonded groups. Belonging wasn't a nice feeling. It was survival. Being cast out of the group in a hostile environment often meant death. So a brain that could remind you, vividly and emotionally, of the times you were safest, loved, and connected wasn't sentimental. It was strategic. It kept you motivated to seek out belonging again. Nostalgia, in other words, may be less about the past and more about a signal. A signal telling you what you need right now. Psychologist Christine Bacho at Le Moyne College has spent years researching who feels nostalgic and why. Her work found that people going through major life transitions, moving to a new city, starting college, losing a relationship, report far more nostalgic episodes than people in stable periods of life. The feeling shows up exactly when you need reassurance the most. It isn't random, it's responsive. Have you ever noticed that nostalgia rarely hits when things are going well? You don't usually feel a wave of nostalgia in the middle of a great vacation or a joyful celebration. It creeps in during quiet, uncertain, or lonely moments. A rainy Tuesday, an empty apartment, the 5 minutes before you fall asleep. That's not a coincidence. That's your brain checking in on you. And here's the part that surprises most people. Nostalgic memories are almost never accurate. Your brain doesn't store memories like a video file. It reconstructs them every single time you access them, like rebuilding a house from a blueprint instead of pulling out an old photograph. Every time you replay a memory, you're not watching the original. You're building a new version, shaped by how you feel right now. This means the version of your childhood summer you're remembering has almost certainly been softened, sharpened in some places, sanded down in others. The bad parts blur. The warm parts glow brighter. Is that a flaw in your memory? Or is it the entire point? Researchers studying autobiographical memory have found that this rosy editing serves a function. If your brain stored every memory with perfect, brutal accuracy, including every argument, every embarrassment, every mundane detail, there would be nothing left to comfort you. Nostalgia only works because your mind quietly polishes the past into something worth returning to. It's not lying to you, it's protecting you, which raises a strange question. If the memory has been edited, are you even missing what actually happened? Or are you missing the feeling your brain built out of it? This is where nostalgia stops being about a specific place or person and starts being about identity. Sedekaity's research found that nostalgic memories are almost always social. They nearly always involve other people, not objects or achievements. You don't get nostalgic for a promotion. You get nostalgic for the people who were there. This is why nostalgia so often surfaces around anniversaries, old friend groups, hometowns, and family traditions. It isn't really the past you're longing for. It's the version of yourself that felt held by other people. And that might be exactly why nostalgia feels so different depending on your age. Teenagers rarely feel deep nostalgia because they haven't yet built up enough emotional distance from their own past. But somewhere in your 20s and 30s, something shifts. The gap between who you were and who you are becomes wide enough to look back across. This is often called the reminiscence bump, a well-documented pattern where people recall memories from their adolescence and early adulthood far more vividly than any other period of their lives. It's the era when your identity was still forming, so your brain files those years away as foundational, formative, worth revisiting again and again. So when a song from when you were 17 comes on, and your whole body reacts before your mind even catches up, you're not just hearing music. You're being pulled back to the exact window in your life when you were becoming who you are. Here's the modern twist nobody talks about. You are now surrounded by more nostalgia triggers than any generation in human history. Old photos resurface on your phone without warning. Streaming platforms re-release the shows you grew up on. Algorithms are specifically tuned to resurface things you once loved, because they know something simple. Nostalgia keeps you engaged. Nostalgia keeps you scrolling. What used to be an occasional, spontaneous, emotional signal has become something companies now manufacture on purpose, dozens of times a day, through a screen in your pocket. Your ancestors felt nostalgia a handful of times a year, triggered by something real. A smell of wood smoke, a familiar hill, a face they hadn't seen in seasons. You can feel it a dozen times before lunch, triggered by a notification. Does that dilute the feeling? Or does it just mean your ancient survival signal is now firing constantly, in a world that never lets it rest? Maybe the next time that old song plays, or an old photo appears out of nowhere, and your chest tightens for no obvious reason, you won't just feel it. You'll understand it. Your brain isn't malfunctioning. It isn't stuck in the past. It's reaching backward, the same way it has for every human who ever felt far from home, trying to remind you of who you were so you can figure out who you still are. You heard 4 notes of a song, just 4. And for a moment, your ancestors, your identity, and your need to belong all spoke to you at once.